Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it once again to Pickup Lines. It is the talk show in a car, a sun-kissed car. As you can see this morning, the cold front hasn't arrived yet, but that's okay. Jeff Webster is my guest. He is the president and CEO of the Greater SA Chamber.
Yes, sir.
Nice to have you on here.
Hey, thanks for inviting
so
us.
much. I know you're a very busy man. It's a busy time of the year for you, so I appreciate you carving out a few minutes. I know we have an election coming up, but other than that, what's the biggest thing on your plate right now, would you say?
You know, we're working on a couple things. Obviously, the election, Prop A and Prop B have got us going like crazy. We've got an issue with the military. Everybody's read about the 5th Army and the 2nd Army over at Fort Sam.
Right.
And we got this new council and the relationship between the council and the rest of the city.
So you're spinning several plates at once.
Spinning several plates.
Okay. Speaking of what city council, by the way, you spent some time on the dais yourself.
I did. I had 2 terms. Back then, it was only 2-year terms, so I did 4 years, which was the term limit at the time. Never been grateful for term limits as much as I was when my term was up.
In District 10, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. So stand by for that. But I typically like to start at the beginning and work our way chronologically. I'm not gonna get you in any trouble today. At least that's not my plan. But as so many great guests who have sat here before, you're another example of someone who you were not born in San Antonio.
I was not. I was actually grew up in Richardson, Texas, in North Dallas.
The Metroplex, yes.
Yeah, moved here in 1984, right out of college.
You went to Texas State?
I did. Southwest Texas, brother. Go Bobcats.
I graduated from the University of Houston, Victoria, which just in September changed to Texas A&M University.
That's
Victoria.
right.
So I'm getting used to that. So you still call it Southwest Texas?
I still call it Southwest Texas.
Okay. Fair enough. And you played football there?
Well, I went there to play football, blew my knees out.
Both of them?
My right knee only lasted just about this long, and I was done. And I decided to be a fraternity guy, a business school student, chase the pretty girls at Texas State, and get out in a few years.
Yeah. Did you want to be a football player growing up, or what were your aspirations when you were a young boy?
I think like a lot of young guys, I wanted to play some kind of sports. I loved playing football, loved playing basketball.
The Dallas Cowboys are right there too.
Dallas Cowboys I grew up actually with Mike Ditka's son, was in my high school class, and raised around the Cowboys. Always wanted to play football, but just didn't have it in me in college, and so just became a college student.
Yeah. When you came down to San Marcos, I guess, I mean, how aware of San Antonio were you at the time?
You know, back then, I started there in 1979, everybody wanted to run to Austin. That was the party street on 6th Street. But we found it was a lot more fun to come down to San Antonio and have a good time because there's a lot less competition, a little less crowded, a little more fun down on the Riverwalks. We came down here a lot.
Because I was going to say that. I mean, I was thinking that I'm trying to imagine what late 70s, early 80s. That's the Riverwalk and
the Riverwalk, and there was there's a few country western bars we like to hang out and get in trouble in, but it was always a good time in San Antonio.
I love it. What are your earliest childhood memories? What kind of household did you grow up in? Mom and dad, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I feel very blessed. I grew up in a first generation to go to college. Both my parents had GEDs, hardworking, blue-collar folks.
Yeah.
Their dream was that I would be the one to go to college, and I was blessed. They supported me. Got into college, graduated, which shocked a lot of people. Crammed a 4-year degree into 5 years, and had an opportunity to move to San Antonio in '84, and I took it. Thought I would be here 1 year, and I'd go back to Dallas, and never left. Married a local girl and stayed here.
So what was it about San Antonio? Or what brought you here, and then why was it your wife that decided you were going to stay?
No, I came here because honestly, this was a place of great opportunity.
Yeah.
Dallas was so crowded and all the pretty people and so competitive. And you could come to San Antonio if you wanted to make your career and you worked hard. There was great opportunity. And so I saw the bigger opportunities here in San Antonio, stayed here, came here with the building materials company, stayed here, worked in the retail food service business, worked in medical surgical, and then had my own business, then got into politics and married my wife, and it was a great deal.
And weren't the Cowboys a client of yours at one point?
The Cowboys were a client of mine. It was right after I got off city council. And if you remember, we had training camp here.
Sure, absolutely, at the Alamo Dome.
I was kind of the one that brought the Dallas Cowboys here, along with my friend Bill Siebert. I was a state rep at the time. Helped me bring the Cowboys to San Antonio, and I represented them for 5 or 6 years.
It's interesting you say that. I've actually interviewed Jerry Jones a few times in recent years, and I've asked him, I know they're in Oxnard now, but why haven't they come back to San Antonio?
Well, it's 2 things. It's 70 degrees in Oxnard in July and August. They're outdoors, and they love San Antonio. It's one of their best markets in the whole state and the whole country. But the problem is you're indoors the whole time. And the players felt a little bit like gophers. They wanted to get outside. They want to protect that California market. They've got the San Antonio market. So they've been great supporters of the community, and the Joneses were really good to us when they were here.
And he's probably the reason, right, that San Antonio is not going to get an NFL team anytime soon.
Well, I will tell you, we had that conversation with Mr. Jones, and it's not just Mr. Jones. You've got a team in Houston and a team in New Orleans and a team in Dallas, all worth over $1 billion, now multi-billion dollars.
Sure.
And as I was told to me, if you draw 500-mile concentric circles, you have 3 teams that cover San Antonio. And you don't put a McDonald's on every corner for a reason. And so I think it's going to be hard-pressed for us to ever have an NFL team.
Right.
But what's exciting now is we got D1 football with our Roadrunners, Birds Up.
Love Jeff Traylor. He's been a guest, and a few Lisa Campos has been on the show, and a few other things. I guess since we're on the subject right now, professional sports, is there a place for professional, like one of the big 4 leagues in San Antonio? I know we've got the Missions. I know we've got, obviously the Spurs. But is there a place for another franchise?
You know, the numbers we've run over the years say that MLS soccer is our next big play. Okay. The numbers are tough to pull off with baseball because the number of games you got to have and to fill those stands. And we've got an awesome now opportunity with the new stadium,
downtown,
new owners, and what's going on with the Missions. NFL, like we just discussed, is going to be tough, but I think we can leverage Division I athletics. We can look at the future for Major League Soccer, but we can create a crowded environment here in San Antonio.
The WNBA. I mean, it was here.
It was here. That team was sold to Las Vegas, just like our minor league hockey team.
And Becky Hammond has won, 3 titles over there? And she's doing all right. Okay, I know we went off on a tangent there, but I do love talking about sports. So you got to San Antonio, you did a few different things, and then public office kind of came into your life. Is that something, had you held elected office before?
Well, no, I hadn't. I had run before here in San Antonio, but my parents will tell you when I was a little kid, I said I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to own a business. Somehow I was fascinated with that as a small child. And I always wanted to get in politics. I've always loved politics. I love the grassroots and the community feel of things, and I decided to go jump in the middle of it.
So what was your business that you were going to own when you were a kid?
Well, at the time, I thought I was kind of going to be a little bit of the neighborhood enforcer and protect and provide insurance to my neighbors to make sure that nobody messed with their homes or their yards while they were gone. So I was going to be the insurance company.
Fair enough. That's pretty good. That's big time thinking at a young age.
As a young kid, I thought it was a great business idea. I could keep the kids away from your house and your yard. You just have to pay me a little.
You could have set up, man, you could have retired at 30 doing that.
I could have been done.
You could have been done. Oh, man. Well, you turned out all right.
It's okay.
Very good. I much want to get to here with Jeff Webster. We're having a great conversation, the president and CEO of the Greater San Antonio, Greater SA Chamber. Back with more on Pickup Lines after a break. All right, back with Jeff Webster here, Greater SA Chamber CEO. I know the word greater came back into play. I mean, I know you're constantly thinking of marketing and branding and optics and everything, but greater is in the title for a reason.
Yeah, it was in the title for years. And they decided a few years ago to move away just the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. And 2.5 years ago, they did a rebranding and brought the greater back.
Right.
Because, it used to be San Antonio was all it was here.
Yeah.
And now our community and what our organization serves is much broader. We've got members from several counties, small and large. It is greater, and so we're glad to be a part and represent our friends in the business community.
It is the latest number. Is it like 1,700 plus?
Right around there,
members?
Yes, sir, and growing. Yes, sir. We're very proud of that. We're the oldest. We're 131 years old. The building we reside in downtown on Commerce Street was actually the visitor center in 1968 for the Hemisphere.
That's crazy. No, I believe that. No, that's crazy. And I don't know if some people realize, Luis Rodriguez was here with the Hispanic Chamber. These chambers, especially in San Antonio, have been around for many, many decades.
What's exciting is the Hispanic Chamber, I believe, is the oldest Hispanic chamber west of the Mississippi.
I think you're right, yes.
And they do a fantastic job. We've been blessed to be around for a long time, and our ties to healthcare, the military, education, workforce development. It's really, really pretty fun.
Yeah, got it. Okay, back to City Council, because you're District 10, which is the northeast side.
Yes, sir.
Mark White is this council member there now. You obviously chose not to pursue higher office after that.
Did not. That's
you were
correct.
Good once you were done?
What was more important to me at the time was I had 2 young boys, and the greatest title in the world to me is dad. And I coached 31 Little League teams over the years for my boys.
Wow.
In all kinds of sports. And to me, coach, dad, husband, greatest titles in the world.
I've gotten to know a number of city council members over the years, especially those who are parents with young children, and I do not, absolutely do not envy them. I don't know how they do it.
You know, that job, and back then when we were only making $20 a week.
That is true.
Was the pay.
You heard correct, by the way. $20.
$20 a week.
Because you got paid by the meeting, right?
Well, you had to be there on Thursday when roll was called. Even if you were gone on city business, you didn't get your $20.
How is that legal back then?
You know, it is what it is. I'm grateful for those that are serving now.
Right.
I tease my friends that are on council now that they can afford to buy me lunch now.
That is true, because they make it, obviously the salaries have gone up a lot more. But yeah, $20 a week, you said.
A week?
That's unbelievable.
And most people said we were overpaid, so that's another conversation.
That's another conversation for another day. But you never thought about seeking other office or anything like that?
No, I've been blessed. I love being a husband. We're getting ready to celebrate 31 years with my wife.
Congratulations.
Paige. My boys are out of college and successful, and the role of dad and husband is the most important thing to me. And now I get to help the community in this role.
Right. In layman's terms, I know you talked about things that are on your plate right now, but how do you describe to an out-of-towner or somebody who's not familiar with the Greater SA Chamber, what is it that you do? Why is your role so important?
Well, what's interesting is just the history of this chamber. We've been involved in everything from military. We've helped raise the money and bought the land and donated to the military. Health sciences, biomed, we helped get that started.
Right.
Economic development, the group that does that, we got that started. But what we are is we're the voice for the business community. My friends at Greater SCTX, I believe you've had them here.
Yes.
Their job is to go out and recruit and bring in.
Yeah.
My job is to be the offensive line and make sure the environment here is clear of difficulties from the city, county, state, and feds. So this is a great place to raise a family, grow a business, or start a business.
Got it. Is the projection still true in 1 million more people by 2040?
Yes, sir.
In San Antonio or in Bexar County?
Bexar County. Now, where we're going to put all of them, I don't know that yet. But yeah, the economic growth here continues. And what I tell people all the time is San Antonio grows at 3 or 4% every single year. Good economy, bad economy.
Yeah.
We grow at 3 or 4%, and it's steady. And I really like that because you can kind of plan and be better about that. When you look at some of our sister cities here, really struggle with that.
What does San Antonio? I mean, I know construction is a constant. Like it's a joke. It's a thing. It's a growing pain. It is whatever it is to you. But what does San Antonio still need? Mass transit or professional sports or whatever that looks like to keep up with 1 million more people in the next 16 years.
Well, the biggest thing we want to do is create economic opportunity. So economic opportunity takes people out of poverty and creates a new generation of family wealth. Each generation comes along, does a little better ideally. So we've got to work on economic opportunity. We've got to get our kids educated. We've got to get some more kids. And the answer is not college. College is not for everybody. But I will say, our friends at Alamo College, have you followed what they're doing at Alamo College?
The Alamo Promise and everything.
Not just the Promise, but they're getting people certified in trades, college degrees. They're knocking it out of the park. So we've got to have a workforce that can meet that future need. And that future need then just elevates everybody's pay and the economy. The whole thing just lifts the whole raft, and we're in a much better shape.
It's remarkable. You mentioned trades, how different I feel like they are viewed now as compared to when you and I went to college.
Well, I think about it all the time as I have an irrigation guy come out and work on my sprinklers, and I paid him $90 an hour. And I'm thinking, there's not a whole lot of jobs paying $90 an hour. Have an electrician out, have a plumber out.
Right.
Plus the skilled people we're putting in these manufacturing at
Toyota
and Navistar and these other places. And we haven't even gotten into the cyber and technology that's exploding here in San Antonio.
Right, yeah. So anything you can kind of peel the curtain back on? Anything, big announcements or anything exciting coming up in the near term that you can talk about here?
Well, we can't give you names, but I will tell you there are great opportunities coming to San Antonio in manufacturing and some technology and some distribution. And I think in the end, we're going to have great news about military. I think our military is going to continue to grow here in San Antonio.
Okay, despite what's happening at Fort Sam.
I don't believe everything you read.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I like the sound of that. Well, the military obviously is, I tell people I don't come from a military family, but I have such great respect for that community and what it means to San Antonio, and it's alive and strong here in San Antonio still.
Well, we are Military City USA, and when I've had the opportunity to go to the Pentagon to represent our city, that is recognized in D.C., and they love San Antonio because Texas is the #1 state for recruiting in the military.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many bases here. If you come to the medical in any branch, or you come to the Air Force, you come to San Antonio. So many of our veterans have come here.
Yep.
What's amazing is how many of them come back here, live and retire, and contribute to our community.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because I've had a few of them sit right there in that chair, and they've retired, but they've chosen to stay here or close by.
Yeah, I laugh. I was in a presentation the other night. We're talking about the number of San Antonio Spurs that live here in San Antonio.
Yes.
It's like third on the list of number versus LA and New York, and we're third. Military, outside of Northern Virginia, DC, this is where military comes to retire and live.
Got it. So if we're looking at a map of Bexar County,
right?
I know the growth is happening as we speak, but is there a particular part of Bexar County or the map that we're not talking enough about, or that's the place to keep an eye on a decade from now?
You know, I got to tell you, I got a friend that's got a huge development and working on the south side and the southwest side.
Brooks and everything over there.
You talk about Brooks to Port San Antonio.
Yep.
The opportunity is amazing. The manufacturing that's coming on the south side. And I'd be embarrassed if I didn't bring up Texas A&M San Antonio.
Yes.
And the growth that's down there. 8,000 students down there now. And
yes.
I remember when we broke ground on that.
Sure.
And so I will tell you, San Antonio across the city is growing, but south and west, watch what's going on.
I was in their campus not too long ago. Their athletic director was on with me talking about how the sports is expanding. I think they're building a hospital over there.
Yep. UHS is building a new facility.
And there's plenty of real estate still to develop over there, right?
There is plenty, but go over there now. And I remember when they first started cracking ground, you got a building, two buildings.
Yeah.
Plenty of beautiful developments, residential developments, plenty of beautiful places to live. It's exciting what's happening south and side.
Good for them. I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Jaguars and everything.
Yes, sir.
And all that. So very good. Okay, we'll step aside a few more minutes with Jeff Webster, having a fantastic conversation here. More to come on Pickup Lines. Don't go away. All right, back a few more minutes here with Jeff Webster, the president and CEO of the Greater SA Chamber, which, by the way, is an office. You're not elected to this. You could hold it for life if you wanted to.
I could hold it for life if I wanted to.
Like a Supreme Court justice.
Yes, it's an appointment for life or until the board fires you. But no, I can't tell you. I've been around this committee a long time, from politics to business, and I feel so honored and blessed that the board selected me to be the leader a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a dream come true, and it's a real honor.
So give me an idea of what a typical day is like. I would imagine I don't know if you stay still very much.
Nope.
But what is a good day for you in your role?
Well, I do a lot of this. I do a lot of media.
Yeah.
Do a lot of interviews.
And we appreciate that, by the way.
No, we love it. The press has been very kind to us at the Greater Chamber. But we have about 15 different committees, councils, we call them both. From small business to healthcare to, you name it. So I'm involved with a lot of our committees, and which involves our members to engage and do some things. That covers a lot of my day. But I also spend a lot of time in meetings and representing our friends in the military. I was just in the governor's office yesterday, meeting with them and talking to them about what we're trying to do here with the military, meeting with our elected officials, both at City Council, at County Commissioners Court, the State House, and even in DC. I tell people, this is a real job. I have to work on this one.
It's almost like you're in elected office again, because you're shaking a lot of hands and
it is
kissing babies and doing all that kind of stuff.
It's so funny you say that, because I tell people all the time, this is a great job, because I get to be playing politics, playing business, playing the community, and I don't have to go to my friends and ask for money for a campaign. So it's kind of nice.
That's true.
And my friends appreciate that. They don't have to ask for money.
Fair enough. Very good. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Project Marvel. I mean, early voting is underway. The election's obviously next week. I know you've been front and center on a lot of this stuff that's been happening. Any sense on how it's going to go? And if I were to be devil's advocate and one or both of the props were not to pass, I mean, realistically, is there any chance that the Spurs would leave town?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to put words in the Spurs' mouth. Okay. I'm a competitor and a businessman, and I know that ownership group has to answer to their investors. And the comparative analogy is, if you look at Oklahoma City, they're building a new arena right now too.
That's right.
The team there is putting in $50 million, and the city's putting in $950 million. And if you compare that to the deal here, the Spurs are putting up just into the arena 10 times what Oklahoma City's doing, plus their investment another $1.5 billion around it. So we've got an amazing deal.
Yeah.
And so the Spurs mean something. This is a business that's been here for over 50 years.
Right.
And if somebody came to town and said, we'd like to invest $2 billion in your city, you know what we'd be doing? Jumping all over it.
Right. And I'm not denying what you're saying, but to what do you say to those who are like, well, wait a minute, I thought that's what they were going to do on the east side with the then SBC Center?
Yeah. So I was a little involved in that. It was right as I was coming off city council.
Yeah.
And so we scrambled. We thought we had found a couple places to make the Spurs whole and work. It didn't work. And what few people remember is back in '99, there was this town in Louisiana built a brand new facility right next to their football stadium in New Orleans.
You're talking about the Superdome, and it's now Smoothie King, I think, King Arena or whatever.
Yeah, they were all over about trying to get the Spurs.
Because they did not have a team back then.
Have a
That's
basketball
right. They
team.
have the Pelicans now. But
they have the Pelicans now. And so our local leadership, Cindy Cryer was county judge then, we knew we couldn't lose the Spurs. And she jumped in there and offered a deal to get them over on the east side. Some things were talked about what we could do over there. And there were some struggles trying to work to make it happen.
Yeah.
What I love is the leadership now on the east side really appreciates what we need to do. We realized it was a missed opportunity. There's some things we can still do.
Right.
I would suggest if you've not had Cody Davenport in this seat, get Cody from the rodeo.
I believe I have. I'm trying to remember. I've had a few rodeo guests in here. Cody is a great guy.
Cody's great. The reason I say that is we're going to turn that from a $350 million economic impact to a $700 million economic impact year round. And there's some things we can do over there that we've got commitments on that we really can make the east side jump.
Talking about Frostbank and Freeman and that everything.
Yeah.
So that, again, that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's not going anywhere. As I've been around the city the last few weeks, if you hear the Spurs and the rodeo folks talk, they've been roommates.
Yeah.
They've kind of outgrown each other. Spurs need a little more room. The rodeo needs more room to really turn that into something special year round. We give up a lot of our Western heritage to Fort Worth. And the events they're having up there in their arena up there, we could bring those kind of things. It's not rodeo 24/7. It's the cattle industry, the equine industry. There's all kinds of competitions and events you can bring in there that people are in town staying for 3, 4, 5 days. Now we're getting some opportunity to put some butts in the beds, some butts in the seats, and have an real economic builder on the east side.
Okay. Couple more things here.
Yeah.
I understand we have a few things in common, including a love for Dr. Pepper.
There is a rumor to that effect that I am a fan of Dr. Pepper. If you go to my office and open the refrigerator, there's 2 bottles of water and probably 36 Dr. Pepper stuck in there.
Which is exactly like my fridge. I've been trying to drink more water for many years, and it's hard.
The concept's good. I get it. So I try to limit that intake.
Yeah. All right. What do you do? I know you got your 2 boys who are older, obviously, now. I know you got some dogs at home and stuff like that. What do you do to unwind, to get away from all the chamber stuff?
So my pleasure is anytime I get to spend time with my wife. She's a very successful businesswoman, so we get time together. We love running up to Lake LBJ, to Horseshoe Bay, and hanging out in our place up there. And to me,
I need to check that out, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not the first person that's told me about that.
It's a great place. It's an hour and 20 minutes, easy to get away and feel like you can relax without really feeling like you've gone too far. But hanging out with my friends, enjoy a good cigar once in a while, and anytime I can spend time with my wife and my boys, and now it looks like we're gonna have 2 fiancés coming into the picture.
Oh.
It's a busy time in our family.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. That's an understatement.
Well, that's awesome. Well, like I said, I know you're super, super busy and you got a million things on your radar right now, but I really appreciate you spending some time with me and just kind of reminiscing and breaking it all down. And
hey, thanks for the invitation. It's great to be here.
I appreciate it.
Good to see you, brother.
Jeff Webster, ladies and gentlemen, the president and CEO of the Greater SA Chamber, and you can certainly find them online or on your favorite social media channel. And check out what they're doing. So that is another episode of Pickup Lines. We'll do it again very soon. As I say, you never know who's going to be in the chair here, but we always enjoy the stories and the memories and the conversations and everything. So until next time, I'm Ernie Zuniga. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.